Hey everyone, we're diving into some really cool research today. Thanks to the American one who passed this along to Iceni. Talk about a friend with great taste in science.
For sure.
So we're taking a look at a paper
Okay.
published in Frontiers in Plant Science,
Hmm.
all about
Wow.
a fungus that seems to
Yeah.
supercharge plant growth.
It's a strain of Cladosporium sphaerospermum,
Okay.
which they've named TC09.
Hmm.
And what's really interesting is that it wasn't even the main focus of their study at first.
Oh,
They
really?
discovered it by accident.
So it was a total eureka moment.
Kind of, yeah.
What happened?
So they were working with tobacco plants in a lab,
Okay.
specifically tissue cultures on plates.
Hmm.
And they noticed that some of the plants near this fungal contaminant were growing way bigger than the others.
Oh, wow.
Like significantly bigger.
So at this point, they know something's up.
Yeah,
But they don't know if it's a fungus or just some weird fluke, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
But that's where things get really interesting because they started looking into MVOCs.
Now, for those of us who aren't plant biologists, remind me what MVOCs are again.
Microbial volatile organic compounds. Think of them like chemical signals
Okay.
that the fungus releases into the air. And it turns out these
Oh.
MVOCs can have a huge impact on how plants grow.
So it's like the fungus is sending out invisible messages that say, hey, plant's time to level up.
That's a great way to put it.
Awesome.
To test this, the researchers got clever.
Okay.
They used these special tubes that allowed the MVOCs to pass through,
Mm-hmm.
but kept the fungus itself away from the plants.
Okay.
And even without direct contact, the plants exposed to those MVOCs just took off.
Wow.
We're talking a 25-fold increase in stem lengths
Seriously.
and 15 times more biomass in just 20 days.
Wait, hold up. 25 times taller.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It is pretty remarkable.
So basically, they proved that just a whiff of this fungal perfume can make plants grow like crazy.
Exactly. And not only that, but the growth advantage actually continued even after they transplanted the tobacco plants into regular soil.
Oh, wow.
So it wasn't just a temporary boost.
This is already blowing my mind, and we're just getting started.
Yeah, there's a lot more to uncover.
So did they figure out how long this fungal spa treatment needs to last for the best results?
They did. They found that even a single day of exposure to the MVOCs made a difference.
Okay,
But the sweet spot seemed to be around 10 days.
gotcha.
That's where they saw the maximum benefit.
Okay, interesting. So it's not a case of more is always better.
Right.
There's an optimal window for this fungal magic to work.
Exactly. And it's not just about exposure time.
Okay,
They also discovered that the type of growth medium they used for the fungus itself actually played a role in how effective the MVOCs were.
so what the fungus eats affect how well it can supercharge the plants.
That's what it seems like.
That's wild.
It is. They found that a standard medium called MS medium worked best, but another common medium called Huttner's actually seemed to suppress the fungus and its growth-boosting powers.
Okay, so the fungus needs to be in tip-top shape itself to really pump out those powerful MVOCs.
It does seem that way.
Makes sense. But I have to ask, is TC09 the only fungus with this superpower, or are there others out there?
That's a great question. They actually compared TC09 to other species and isolates of Cladosporium.
Uh-huh.
And while some of the others showed a little bit of growth promotion,
Good.
TC09 was definitely the rock star.
Wow.
It had this unique potency that the others just couldn't match.
So it's like the Michael Jordan of fungi.
You could say that.
I'm already hooked, and I know we're just scratching the surface here.
Yeah.
What else do they uncover about this amazing fungus?
Well, they didn't stop at tobacco plants.
Okay.
They wanted to see if these MVOCs could boost the yield of a food crop.
Okay, now we're talking.
So they decided to experiment with pepper plants.
Tell me they got some crazy results with the peppers, too.
Oh, they absolutely did. Get this. The pepper plants exposed to TC09 flowered a full 20 days earlier than the control group.
No way. That's huge for farmers.
Yeah.
Earlier harvests mean more profits, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But it's not just about speed. Did the MVOCs actually affect how much fruit they produced?
They did, and it wasn't just a small increase either. We're talking up to 213% more fruit on the plants treated with TC09
Whoa.
compared to the ones that weren't.
Seriously.
Yeah.
That's incredible. So faster growth, earlier harvests, and a massive boost in yield.
It's pretty amazing.
This fungus sounds like a farmer's dream come true.
It really does.
Yeah.
But this is where things get even more fascinating because they wanted to understand how this is all happening at a deeper level. So they turned to a technique called RNA sequencing.
Now, I know that RNA is involved in how genes are expressed, but break it down for me. What exactly does RNA sequencing tell us?
Think of it like peeking into the plant's instruction manual.
Okay.
By analyzing the RNA, we can see which genes are being turned on or off in response to those fungal MVOCs.
Oh.
It gives us clues about the molecular mechanisms behind this incredible growth spurt.
Okay, I'm following you. So it's not just about seeing that the plants are growing like crazy. It's about understanding the why and the how at a genetic level.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And what they found was really intriguing.
Okay.
For example, they noticed that some of the genes involved in photosynthesis were actually downregulated in the tobacco plants exposed to TC09.
Wait, what? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Wouldn't faster growing plants need more photosynthesis to fuel all that growth?
You'd think so, right?
Yeah.
But that's the beauty of scientific discovery.
Uh-huh.
It often challenges our assumptions.
Okay, I'm all ears. What could this mean? How are these plants growing so much if they're photosynthesizing less?
Well, one theory is that the MVOCs might be helping the plants use their resources more efficiently.
Okay.
Remember how they needed a good amount of sugar in their growth medium for the MVOCs to work their magic?
Right, right. So maybe it's not just about making more energy through photosynthesis. It's about redirecting that energy towards growth.
Exactly. It's like the MVOCs are saying, hey, plant, instead of focusing all your energy on making food, why not put some of that effort into building yourself up?
Okay, that makes sense. But I'm sure the RNA sequencing revealed a lot more than just that.
Yeah.
What else did they find?
They found evidence that genes related to cell wall metabolism and cell expansion were more active in the plants exposed to TC09.
So they're building bigger and stronger cells, like a construction crew working overtime.
Precisely. And they also found potential upregulation of genes related to cell division.
Mm-hmm.
That means more cells are being produced, leading to even faster growth.
Wow, it's like a multi-pronged approach to turning these plants into super athletes. This is absolutely fascinating.
It is, isn't it? And there's one more finding from the RNA sequencing that I think you'll find particularly interesting.
Okay.
They noticed the upregulation of JA1,
Uh-huh.
a key gene involved in the plant's defense system.
Hold on. Are you telling me that this wonder fungus not only makes plants grow faster, but also helps them fight off pests?
That's exactly what the data suggests.
Oh.
It seems that exposure to TC09 might actually be boosting the plant's natural defenses, which, if you think about it, makes a lot of sense. If you're going to grow big and strong, you need a good defense system to protect all that valuable biomass.
Wow, this just keeps getting better and better. So not only does this fungus make plants grow faster and yield more, but it could also potentially reduce the need for pesticides.
Exactly.
That's a win-win for farmers and the environment.
Absolutely. And this is just the beginning. There's still so much more to learn about TC09 and its incredible potential.
I'm already completely captivated by this research.
Yeah.
It's like we've stumbled upon a hidden superpower in the fungal world. I can't wait to hear what else you have to share.
Well, before we move on to the next part, I'd love to know what has stood out to you so far. What's grabbed your attention?
Honestly, for me, it's the sheer scale of the growth increase, 25 times taller. It really highlights the potential impact TC09 could have.
Yeah, those before and after pictures in the paper were mind-blowing. And to think this isn't just about making plants grow faster in a lab setting. The fact that they saw continued benefits even after transplanting the tobacco into soil, it's huge. Imagine the implications for agriculture.
Absolutely. And it's not just about quantity, it's also about quality. I'm particularly intrigued by the finding that TC09 might activate the plant's defense systems.
Right. It's like this fungus is giving plants a shield along with that growth boost.
Yeah.
If we can understand how TC09 triggers those defenses, it could revolutionize how we protect crops from pests and diseases.
Exactly. It could mean reducing our reliance on harmful pesticides, leading to healthier food and a healthier environment.
For sure.
Okay, here's where my mind is going. We've talked about how TC09 boosts growth and even defenses. But what about the nutritional content of the plants? If we're going to be growing bigger and faster crops, we want to make sure they're still packed with all the good stuff, right?
That's a crucial point, and one that the researchers didn't specifically address in the study, but it's definitely an area ripe for further investigation. What if we could use MVOCs not only to increase yields, but also to enhance the nutritional value of our food?
Now that would be a game changer. Imagine a world where we could grow superfoods that are both delicious and incredibly nutritious.
And think about the implications for sustainability. If we can help plants grow more efficiently with fewer resources, that's a huge step towards a more environmentally friendly food system.
It's all starting to connect. We're talking about increased yields, enhanced nutrition, and reduced environmental impact. This little fungus could be a key to a more sustainable future. It's almost too good to be true.
It is remarkable, but there's still so much we need to learn. And it's important to consider potential downsides as well. Ecosystems are delicate balances, And introducing something new can have unforeseen consequences.
So we need to proceed with caution and make sure we're not creating new problems while trying to solve old ones. What kind of ecological impact should we be thinking about?
For example, would introducing MVOC-producing fungi like TC09 disrupt natural microbial communities? Could they have unintended effects on other plant species? These are all questions that need to be addressed before we can fully embrace this technology.
It makes sense. We need to be responsible with this incredible discovery and make sure we fully understand the implications before releasing it into the wild, so to speak. But even with those caveats, I'm incredibly optimistic about the potential of TC09 and other fungi like it.
Me too.
Yeah.
This research has really opened our eyes to a whole new world of possibilities, a world where we can partner with nature to create a more sustainable and abundant future.
Speaking of possibilities, is there anything else from the research that really stood out to you? Any details that you think our listeners would find fascinating?
There is one thing. Remember how we talked about the importance of sugar in the growth medium for the plants exposed to the MVOCs? Well, it turns out that the type of growth medium used for the fungus itself also played a role.
Really? So it's not just about what the plants are eating, but also about what the fungus is dining on.
Precisely. They tested a variety of media, and while the standard MS medium seemed to be the optimal choice, a common fungal medium called Huttner's actually stifled both the fungus and its growth-boosting effects.
That's so interesting. It's like the fungus needs to be in the right mood, eating the right food to produce those magical MVOCs.
It really speaks to the complexity of these microbial interactions. There are so many factors at play, and we're only just beginning to scratch the surface of understanding them. But that's what makes this field so exciting.
I could agree more.
Yeah.
So after those plants have been exposed to TC09 for that optimal 10 days, do the effects wear off or do they keep on thriving?
That's another fascinating aspect of this research. In the case of the tobacco plants, they transplanted them from the lab into soil after the exposure period, and the growth advantage persisted even after the transplant.
No way. So it's
Yeah.
not just a temporary boost, it's like a long-term investment in plant health.
That's what the data suggests. The treated plants continue to grow taller and produce more leader than the control group, even weeks after they were no longer exposed to the fungal MVOCs.
That's incredible. It's almost like the fungus unlocks some hidden potential within the plant, allowing it to thrive long after their encounter.
It's a fascinating possibility that certainly deserves more research. Imagine the implications if we could give plants a head start in life that would benefit them for their entire lifespan.
We'd be rewriting the rules of agriculture. But I have to ask, with all this talk of supercharged plants and increased yields, are there any potential downsides that we haven't touched on yet? It almost sounds too good to be true.
That's a wise question and one that we should always consider when exploring new technologies. Remember, ecosystems are delicate balances. Introducing a new element, even one that seems beneficial, can have unforeseen consequences.
So we need to proceed with caution and make sure we're not creating new problems while trying to solve old ones.
Exactly. We need to thoroughly investigate the potential ecological impacts of using MVOC-producing fungi like TC09. Would they disrupt natural microbial communities? Could they have unintended effects on other plant species? These are all questions that need to be addressed before we can fully embrace this technology.
It's all about finding the right balance between innovation and responsibility. We need to harness the power of nature without causing harm. But even with those caveats, I can't help but feel incredibly optimistic about the potential of TC09 and other fungi like it.
Me too. This research has opened our eyes to a world of possibilities, a world where we can partner with nature to create a more sustainable and abundant future. It's really quite inspiring.
It is. This has been an absolutely mind-blowing deep dive. I've learned so much about the incredible world of fungi in just this one conversation.
Before we wrap up this part, I want to highlight something we discussed earlier, the potential of TC09 to enhance plant defenses and reduce our reliance on pesticides. Think about the implications of that, a future where we can grow food that is not only more abundant, but also healthier and safer for people and the planet. What are your thoughts on that?
It really is a powerful thought. Moving towards a system where, we're working with nature, not against it, to grow healthier and more abundant food.
Precisely. And this research on TC09 is just one example of the incredible potential that fungi hold. It's like we've been overlooking an entire kingdom of life and they've been patiently waiting for us to catch up.
Yeah, it's amazing to think about all the possibilities that are out there,
Yeah.
just waiting to be discovered. But I know science can be a slow and meticulous process. So what are the next steps in terms of bringing this research from the lab to the farm?
Well, first and foremost, we need more research on a larger scale. This study was a fantastic starting point, but we need to see if these findings hold true across different plant species and in different environments.
Yeah.
We can't assume that what works for tobacco and peppers will automatically work for every crop out there.
That makes sense. So it's about expanding the scope of the research and making sure these results are robust and reliable.
Exactly. And we also need to delve deeper into the mechanisms at play.
Okay.
We have some clues from the RNA sequencing, but we need to pinpoint the exact compounds that TC09 produces and figure out how they interact with the plant's physiology at a molecular level. It's like we need to decode the language of these fungal MVOCs.
So it's not just about observing the effects, it's about understanding the intricate conversation happening between the fungus and the plant.
That's a great way to put it. Once we crack the code, we can start thinking about practical applications.
Okay.
Maybe we can develop biofertilizers that contain these beneficial MVOCs, or perhaps we can even genetically engineer plants to be more receptive to those fungal signals.
The possibilities are endless.
Yeah.
But as we've discussed, we need to tread carefully and consider the potential ecological ramifications.
Right.
We don't want to unleash a fungal frenzy that ends up disrupting natural ecosystems.
Absolutely. Responsible innovation is key. We need to find that sweet spot where we're harnessing the power of nature without causing unintended harm. It's a delicate balance, but one that's crucial to navigate as we move forward.
Well, this deep dive has been a whirlwind of information and inspiration. I feel like I've gone from fungal skeptic to fungal enthusiast in the span of an hour.
I love to hear it.
What a journey.
It has been a pleasure sharing this research with you.
It really is. And I know our listeners are going to be just as captivated by this story as I am. What final thought would you leave them with today?
I would say this. Imagine a world where we fully embrace the potential of fungi, not just for agriculture, but for everything from cleaning up pollution to developing new medicines. We're just beginning to scratch the surface of what these incredible organisms can do. And I believe the future of fungi is bright, full of potential waiting to be unlocked.
That's an inspiring vision for the future. And speaking of the future, we'd love for all of you listening to be a part of our journey as we continue to explore the frontiers of science. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a like if you enjoyed this deep dive. It really helps us reach more people and share these incredible discoveries with the world.
And don't forget to spread the word. Share this episode with your friends, family, anyone who might be interested in the power of fungi. The more people we can get excited about this research, the faster we can turn these possibilities into realities.
That's right. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the fascinating world of fungi and supercharged plants. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and never stop being curious about the world around you. You never know what amazing discoveries might be waiting just around the corner.